Hey folks, we are on the last flavour of the fruit of the Spirit this week. We're thinking all about self-control. Now, self-control is about being in command of yourself, doing the right thing even when other voices or temptations might be persuading you to do otherwise. So you show self-control when you don't pass on that piece of gossip that everyone's talking about. You show self-control when you get up to go for that run in the cold, even when your bed is cozy and warm. You show self-control when you don't lose your temper, even when someone is really bugging you. Today's story is taken from the Old Testament. We're thinking about David. Now, David was promised by God that he was going to be king. The king at the time was called Saul, and he didn't have a lot of self-control. He had started to live in a way that wasn't pleasing to God, and he'd heard that David was going to be the new king. And so he was really jealous and really mad and wanted to hurt David. On this particular occasion, David is hiding from Saul in a cave. Saul doesn't realize, and he goes into this cave to go to the loo. David is there with some of his other men, and they are encouraging him to kill the king. It's an ideal time to do it. There isn't anyone else around. It's just Saul. David creeps up on him with the knife, but he doesn't kill him. He cuts off a piece of his cloak instead. It would be really easy for David to take advantage of the situation and kill Saul. After all, he was going to be the next king, and Saul was trying to kill David, so surely it would have been okay. That's what his friends seemed to say. But David didn't do it. He had self-control. He didn't kill him because he knew that's not what God wanted. God doesn't like murder, and this would have been murder. So he doesn't do it. He shows self-control. Later, he shows Saul the piece of cloak and explains what had happened. For that moment, Saul is sorry, but it doesn't take long before Saul does what he wants again with no self-control. It can be tough to have self-control. It can be tough because we live in this world that's very much about getting what we want when we want it. It's very much about us being in the center. But when we become part of Jesus' team, life changes. Instead of us being in the center, we put God in the center. And self-control helps us with that. It helps us to keep our thoughts and our actions and our words in line with how God wants us to live. Now, just like the rest of the fruit of the Spirit, this isn't something that we can just do by ourselves. We need to pray. We need to ask God to help us do it. And we need to remember that these things take time. Fruit takes time to grow. I wonder if you explorers who were at the session with Barbara when you painted these pots, I wonder how your plant's coming along. Remember, it starts off as just a seed and it takes time to grow, doesn't it? And that's just like the fruit of the Spirit. It's going to take time before we see these different flavors coming in our lives, like love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. But the great thing is that if you're part of Jesus' team, then they are starting to grow in you. So look out for opportunities to show the different flavors of the fruit in your life and keep asking God to help grow them in your life. Okay guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.